Hi, my name is Nick Scoble-Williams. Joining you from Japan, I have the privilege of leading Deloitte's Future of Work efforts globally. I'm also one of the authors for our 2025 Global Human Capital Trends Report. And I am thrilled to be here, joined with my colleague, co-author, and dear friend, Sue Cantrell, bringing you another installment of our Trends of Trends, where we are taking a retrospective look at our global human capital trends reports over the years, exploring the evolutions of the key insights since 2011. Now, the world today obviously looks remarkably different from the world in which we first launched our Global Human Capital Trends Report back in 2011. The past decade has been marked by radical change, by a newness that has evolved at a pace that we, of course, can only describe as exponential. Throughout these significant changes, our annual Global Human Capital Trends Report has aspired to bring you, our readers, our audiences, an opportunity to understand each moment in history, the opportunity to immerse in the current economic, cultural, and technological landscape through the perspective of humans and the enterprise.
Thanks, Nick. Yes, I'm thrilled to join you here as a fellow author of Human Capital Trends. And Nick and I are here to lead you through how we have approached the topic of the future of work since 2011. And when we see it, the future of work has dramatically shaped the way we work, the way we lead, the way we grow today. And since we launched Human Capital Trends, the world has evolved, but there are a few key themes that continue to develop when it comes to future of work. Probably the biggest theme is the notion that the boundaries of the organization, of the workforce, of the workplace are just falling away. So, for example, we asked, who is the workforce? Well, the answer has really changed. It's more than just employees. So we started writing about this in our very first Trends installment back in 2011, addressing the rise of contingent workers. And we continued to write about it with a broader lens over the years in terms of the open talent economy, the gig economy, and then more recently, workforce ecosystems, which includes not only contingent workers, but expanded to include really any resource performing work for an organization. That could be human or machine. It could be internal talent or external talent that could come from partners, outsourcing providers, gig workers, contract workers, or more. And then, of course, with the rise of AI and other emerging technologies, we started writing about AI itself as a digital worker. In 2015, we wrote Machines as Talent, and we started exploring technology's impact on the work and the workforce.
That's so true, Sue. And wow, this is a trip down memory lane. And right around this time, in the middle of the decade, in the 2010s, was when we had that pivotal moment where we coined the term future of work, embracing all of the big shifts to work, workforce, and workplace. We knew that merely inserting technology into all of the existing structures and processes would not optimize the value that that technology could bring. And so we focused on writing about how organizations needed to think in new and different ways, thinking about redesigning jobs, redesigning work in ways that represents a fusion of, rather than a trade-off between, humans and technology. And with the recognition that technology, human, and business issues are not separate, but are intertwined, deeply interconnected, came the realization that these issues, these challenges, opportunities would need to be approached in very new and different ways. And importantly, that we would need to reinvent work itself. Learn how to reconfigure work in networks of teams that embraced new combinations of humans and machines collaborating together, drawing on adaptable structures and organizational ways of working to unlock that agility, that speed, which has become an increasingly important currency in our world of perpetual disruption. And our research has revealed that we would need to really lead with that focus on work in order to unlock those human and business outcomes, really paving that path for a more sustainable, equitable, and inclusive world of work.
That's right, Nick. When I look back, I think about how we wrote about the term that we coined called super jobs, right? And that was roles that combine work and responsibility from multiple traditional jobs, picking up on the concept of hybrid jobs, but also using technology to both augment and broaden the scope of the work performed in a role and involve a far more complex set of domain, technical, and human skills, something we call human capabilities, things like collaboration, emotional intelligence, imagination. And then in the years 2020, 2021, we extended that concept to what we called super teams, about putting AI in the group and taking a lens beyond the individual job or role to the team paradigm.
So true, reflecting back, Sue. And of course, now we start finding ourselves in that generational moment of the pandemic where we were not only needing to focus on work and the workforce, but we needed to very quickly place a laser focus on the workplace, on the boundaries that actually constitute a workplace, which absolutely shifted in ways we could never have imagined. And so we started exploring the boundaryless workplace, the ecosystem of virtual, on-site, hybrid working environments. And in recent years, that focus has then been embracing how do we take a more human-centric approach to work, the workforce, and the workplace in a holistic approach, asking in 2023, how do we power human impact with technology? And last year, of course, we explored how in an age of AI can take on a lot more of the functional, the technical aspects of work. Very importantly, and very relevant to where we are today, we explored those human capabilities that you mentioned, Sue. The imagination, the curiosity, the analytical thinking, which have now become a premium. And importantly, exploring how do we cultivate, how do we operationalize those human capabilities in our workforce, where our research last year found that only 10% of our workers have those human capabilities that we need to inspire and realize the opportunities that AI and the tech innovation is creating. And then our human-centric approach has evolved in fascinating ways over the year, from DEI in the pre-COVID years to well-being last year, where we saw elevating concerns around the well-being and mental health of our workers, that really saw us transition into the need to prioritize human sustainability, something that I know you and I are especially passionate about, Sue. You know, we look at human sustainability as the ability to create value for all people in an organization, all people that it touches, leaving people better off as human beings, greater health and well-being, stronger skills and employability, better jobs, opportunity for advancement, progress to equity, increased belonging and heightened connection to purpose, which has really transitioned us to a very new and different world now, Sue.
Yeah, Nick, just looking back, it's so interesting that many of the trends we were writing about a decade ago are today's reality, right? The future of work is really here. So we're now questioning, where do we go next? We're looking at exploring what's next on the horizon. For example, what's next in AI beyond automation, augmentation, and human and machine collaboration, and then how that in turn is continuing to reshape our work and our workforces. So when it comes to the future of work, really, when we take a step back and think about it, it's all about the choices we make that will determine our collective future. And we're going to tee up some of those choices in our 2025 report. We're very excited that we're going to launch our 14th annual report March 19th of 2025, and we encourage you all to check it out. Thank you very much.